I ask that the proceedings of the quorum be dispensed with.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. President, I come back to the floor again one more time today to honor another great federal employee. I know the presiding officer and I and so many of our colleagues recognize that literally in the state of New Mexico and the Commonwealth of Virginia here in Washington, there are countless federal employees who do great things in terms of public service and don't often get the recognition that they deserve. And as we debate the balance of this year's budget and think about the incredible issues in front of us in terms of our debt and deficit, issues that have to be confronted, we also sometimes have to remember that our actions or failure to act have enormous consequences. Consequences on the people who defend our country, protect our homeland, make sure that the basic operations of government work, whether it's making sure our federal parks are open, making sure that those folks here in Washington who are federal police are on the job, and our sometimes failure to agree or failure to come together on a particularly predictability for the balance of this fiscal year has effect on their lives. Now, that's not the subject of my purpose of rising today, but I do think it is important to bear that in mind as I continue the tradition that was started by Senator Ted Kaufman last year of coming to the floor on a regular basis and honoring federal employees. Time and again, I've seen how the skills and dedication of federal workers has yielded groundbreaking benefits for our country. Today, I want to highlight a federal worker who is at the forefront of modern technology. Joshua Bienfang is a physicist at the National Institute for Standards and Technology. He created a new method of transmitting encrypted messages in a 100% secure way by using quantum physics. I know the presiding officer is an expert in quantum physics, and I unfortunately am not, but since there are so many physicist operations in the great state of New Mexico, and he, I know, is very familiar with these subjects, but I still have a great deal to learn. But my understanding is, in practical terms, this means that Mr. Bienfang means that message interceptors will be unable to capture sensitive information, critically important to protecting the homeland. Prior to Mr. Bienfang's breakthrough, quantum cryptology was thought to be a largely experimental means of transmission. But he was able to both secure messages and speed up their delivery. In fact, this technology has set world speed records in the quantum cryptographic field. I know the presiding officer probably knows what those speed records are. I don't. I know his background in quantum physics makes him understand that, but I think it's a fairly remarkable achievement. Without a doubt, Mr. Bienfang's discovery will be greatly important to our national security, commerce, and equally important, privacy of medical records. His work also demonstrates the diversity of our federal workforce. While we may have our fair share of bureaucrats, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of scientists and researchers doing cutting-edge work within the federal government and applying their intellect to benefit the American people. I hope my colleagues will join me in congratulating Joshua Bienfang, as well as those at the National Institute for Standards and Technology, on their success, which will no doubt aid Americans in the years to come. Thank you, Mr. President. And with that, I yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.